Welcome. Calling to order the Municipality of Monroeville's Citizens Night and Agenda Setting meeting for August 1st, 2023. If you'd all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Grieslock.
Here.
Mr. Hizzy.
Here.
Mr. Poach. Mr. Stevenson.
Here.
Mr. Wolfram. Mr. Adams.
Here.
Mr. Williams.
Here.
Mr. Biondo.
Here.
Mr. Sedlak.
Here.
Mr. Ratcher.
Here.
Ms. Rock.
Here.
Mr. Hugus.
Here.
Mr. Weldon.
Here.
Welcome. This is our Citizens Night and Agenda Setting meeting. If you are watching this live, you can leave right now and go up to Monroeville Night Out. It's National Night Out. We're celebrating here. So big thanks to everybody that's putting that on tonight. A lot of us were up there right before the meeting here. Great turnout, and a lot of volunteers and a lot of members of our public safety, our police, fire, and EMS are up there, and it's a wonderful night for it. So you can always watch this on record later, so we'll be leaving afterwards as well. But this is our Citizens Night and Agenda Setting meeting. But we're going to start, before we get into citizens' remarks, we have a presentation by Public Partners, Toby Kordick. As we know, Mr. Little, our manager, is planning for retirement in January, and he's given us a lot of extra time to prepare for that. And so council has reached out to a consultant in order to find our next manager, and Toby's here to explain that process to the public. So, Toby, please.
Thank you, Mayor Grieslock. Good evening, everybody. Council, audience. It's a pleasure to be here with you. The group that the mayor referred to, Public Partners, was formed about 12 years ago. It's administered by the Allegheny League of Municipalities, which is a nonprofit organization that represents the municipalities of Allegheny County and some beyond its borders. Allegheny League took Public Partners in several years ago. A group of us, about 6 of us right now, that work. 4 of us are retired, 2 managers are active, and what we try to do is help municipalities do larger projects and some smaller ones, mostly oriented toward human resource management. Key jobs are interim management, helping with a manager search like we're doing here in Monroeville, doing some mentoring or coaching, and just sometimes somebody picks up the phone or sees us at a conference, or we just get some word passed on to us for some advice. Because people like me, for example, I was recruited by Public Partners as I was retiring from the town of McCandless, where I was a manager there for about 35 years. And before that, I was in Selinsgrove, a small town in central PA. Before that, I lived in Monroeville for 2 years while I was going to the University of Pittsburgh Grad School for Public Affairs. And before that, I was a Navy officer. So somebody like me just combine all the experience I have to help somebody like Monroeville, a municipality, find a person for them that's a good fit. So that's what we're doing right now. That process includes you start off with a discussion with the governing body, as we have. We've had a couple of meetings to kind of decide what kind of experience level, qualities, and so forth that Monroeville wants in its next manager. And we go from there, and I put together an ad that has now been publicized widely throughout Pennsylvania through our associations because Monroeville does want someone with some good experience. And so that's the best place to search. And then after that, we're going to be having interviews. Hopefully we'll have some good candidates, and Monroeville will be able to find someone that they're going to be happy with, and is going to be happy here. So if you would like me to take any questions, I think that's pretty much what we do, and that's where we are.
Council, any questions for Toby? Because, I mean, I know we've all met with him.
No, I think he's doing a fine job.
Yeah, and the one thing, I mean, we've talked about, and Toby, you can maybe touch on this as well. One thing we've been talking about with the public, we're looking to do a voter referendum for the residency requirement for the manager's position. As we've talked about at other meetings, residency requirements are usually done by contract in the municipality, but only for the manager's position is it in the home rule charter. So in order for this council or any council to change that, it would have to be done through a voter referendum, and we're asking to have that. We're going to be placing it on the ballot for November to change that. A future council could always make that be part of the contract for a manager, but we feel as far as the manager search, we want to cast a bigger net and not to disqualify or have anyone disqualify themselves because maybe they have kids that are about to graduate high school, or maybe they live not too far from commuting distance from Monroeville. So Toby, your thoughts or public partners' thoughts on a residency requirement? Is that something that you think is a
in
good
real
thing?
life, we've actually seen it be a hindrance because, as you said, we're trying to cast a wide enough net. In fact, we're advertising throughout Pennsylvania, but there's a concentration in Western PA. But if someone has kids in soccer or some other sport in the schools and a church that they like, they may want to stay in the municipality they're in. So a lot of municipalities that have tried to cling to the residency requirement have had either sometimes no applicants or just a couple. So it behooves us to do this, and it'll help you in the process. And I think it'll, for the long run, it is part of today's world too, is to where I have to say that as a manager for almost 39 years, not just today, but throughout our career, managers feel that it's a calling, and public service is a calling. And so I remember thinking, somebody even asked me in a grocery store when I stepped into McAllis, and they said, "What do you, you're gonna be living there?" I said, "Yes, I am." But I said, no matter what, the manager embraces and is part of the community in their own minds from day one. And that's some of the things we'll ask candidates is, what kind of involvement will you have in the community, whether you live there or not. And we've had some placements where that has been thoroughly discussed, and we've had to overcome some obstacles.
Very good. Yeah, and ultimately, yeah, we do want our future manager to live here, but we certainly don't want to eliminate anybody. So not to be political, but you're saying to vote yes on the referendum question.
Yes.
We hope he's right.
I can give a short answer, yes.
Thank you. Any other questions for Toby?
No.
Great. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Thanks, Tobe.
Thank you
We
very
appreciate
much.
it. We'll be seeing you soon.
See you soon.
Thank you. Council, I'm going to move over to our Citizens Night remarks and comments. We always ask for residents to, when they sign in, to stick to a 5-minute time limit. That allows the meeting to move forward in a positive way and an efficient way. So if there's anyone here that would like to address council on any municipal matter, now would be your chance to do so. There will be another comment period prior to next Tuesday's meeting for agenda items, and also at the end of that meeting next Tuesday, there'll be another comment period for any municipal item. But right now, this part is for any municipal item.
Lois Drumheller, Monroeville. Good evening. I am following the progress on the most recent draft of the zoning ordinance, which was proposed, sent to the county, and I've been looking each month to see whether or not there would be on the consent agenda a motion to advertise. I see that it is not on this month's. I knew that there wasn't going to be a public hearing August the 1st, naturally, but I was thinking that it would be September the 5th. And I was just very briefly talking to Mr. Weldon. Is it still stuck in the process of being in the county? Because I didn't think it was.
We received the second set of comments, and we can essentially have the public hearing anytime now. So we can have it next month or October.
Okay.
That being the case, it's always good to communicate amongst the, you saw how big the room was for the first public hearing, and I certainly want to be able to communicate when to expect people to come to the second hearing. They may not have the same number of questions, but it doesn't appear that it will be September the 5th, since it's not on this consent agenda. I see my councilman nodding yes. Okay, so it more than likely will be in October, I take it.
It could be in October, or would we have time, Mr. Ratchert, for the regular council meeting of September?
Yeah, I don't know though at this point. I mean, if you're trying to maximize the amount of notice you're giving, you're probably better off with that date in October, plus the fact that it seems that council prefers to have public hearings on all matters at the agenda-setting session rather than at the regular council meeting.
So would we could put a motion, we could, even for this evening, for next Tuesday, to make a motion to advertise for the public hearing for October?
Yes.
We could go ahead and do that.
Oh, in other words, it's okay if it's a ways off, so long as it's at least 30 days off that you're advertising.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so that's your intention. And, all right, thank you very much, that's it.
Thanks, Lois.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address council on any municipal matter? We're going to close the Citizens Night comment period. And actually, if I could just start while we're talking about it, so is council okay with putting that on the agenda for next Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that require a motion, or?
Well, no, we'll get it on, so it's on the agenda, and then we'll make the motion
Okay.
next Tuesday.
All right.
Good. Council, let's look over at the minutes of Citizens Night of July 6th, 2023, the council agenda-setting meeting of July 6th, 2023, and the regular council meeting of July 11th, 2023. Any questions or comments about those minutes? Hearing none. The reports of the tax collections. Any questions or comments, council?
No.
Thank you. List of bills and budget transfers. Does anyone have any questions or comments this evening? Very good. Payroll report. Did anyone have any questions or comments about that?
No.
Hearing none. Moving on. And we will consider vacancies on boards, commissions, and authorities next Tuesday. And moving over to our new business, 23-5-C RT22MTWP LLC. It rolls right off the tongue. But however, they're requesting for a tabling, but Mr. Sedlak, if you would.
Yes. The applicant is requesting conditional use approval to install a billboard pursuant to Monroeville zoning ordinance number 1443 as amended, section 307.14 billboards. The property is located along William Penn Highway, tax parcel 743-J-297 in the C2 Business Commercial Zoning District. The Planning Commission recommends denial of this application, and as the mayor said, they requested tabling.
Okay. Any questions or comments, council?
Nope.
And that would be a public hearing as well, so they're looking to table all of it.
Where exactly is that, Joe?
That's in the lot at the Value City. There's a little triangular piece of property there that right on William Penn Highway, they're looking to put the billboard right there,
Right on 22.
right on 22.
Okay. And that was the only item of new business. Moving over to resolutions for next Tuesday, we have two to consider. Mr. Sedlak.
Yeah, they're both housekeeping resolutions. The first one's a resolution approving the disposition of records as set forth in the Municipal Records Manual. Every year we go through and we clean out our files and dispose of everything that we're allowed to by law. The list is here. Just makes more room for everything else we have. So just a housekeeping resolution.
Questions or comments? Next item.
The second one is a resolution authorizing participation in Allegheny County's CDBG 2024, 2025, and 2026 program years. This is so we can access money for the CDBG grants for what we may use for demolitions, what have you.
Questions or comments? Very good. Moving over to our reports of staff. Mr. Ratcher.
One item I have for you, Mayor, and that is, I would like council's permission to add to the agenda for Tuesday night an ordinance to create a handicap parking zone in front of a residence at 311 Shady Ridge Drive. This information, Mr. Wilden has all the information on it. The request came to him. I drafted an ordinance today. I checked the Home Rule Charter. We don't need to advertise to do that. We just need to get the proper advertisement on the agenda. So with council's permission, we'll move forward with that. And you can act on it up or down.
Okay. Council, any questions?
Yeah, I do have a question. On these signs that we put up, handicap or watch your children or deaf, do we ever take any of them down?
Yes.
Is there a period of time, what's the process of removing?
In theory, if the individual that has the handicap sign in front of their house, if they exit the property, there's to notify us of such so we can remove the sign.
Okay, thank you. That was my question.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
we have more than one handicapped person in Monroeville. We have many. Are we going to put handicap signs at everybody's residence? Or is there a reason for this one that's specific that for some other reason? I don't know. This is the first I heard of it.
I'm not familiar with the circumstances of this one, and we'll probably learn more before next Tuesday, but a lot of times there are certain circumstances. Maybe it's the lay of the land or how the houses are laid out, or,
They submitted a letter that explains their request. I can make that available to council.
Yeah, as of right now, there is, what, one other spot over there?
Yeah,
433, yeah.
Yeah, 133.
Thanks. I'd like to see that. But thank you.
any other questions, council?
Nothing else.
Anything else? Mr.
Nope.
Ratcher? And if I could just piggyback off this, we're talking about signs. A sign issue that always comes up is the no parking, maybe no parking anytime, but the big one is always no parking 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., which is a municipal-wide ordinance, which we always have. However, not every street has those signs. Sometimes those signs go up, sometimes they don't. Right now, I believe that staff or council can direct those signs to be put up. Mr. Hugus, you can help me out with this. 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. signs can go up at the direction of council staff pretty much at any time, correct?
And we still do an ordinance for independent streets because it's a blanket ordinance. So if we wanted to post one on Shady Ridge, we still pass an ordinance for that.
No, I'm sorry, I'm going to the no parking 2 a.m. to 6
Yes.
a.m. specifically.
Yes.
Okay.
For those, yes.
Because I want to make sure, because in the past, sometimes they've just, I don't want to say they appear, but they go up because of, resident complaints, and then,
We still do independent ordinances, so when there's a
And that's-
ticket that's issued, they write the ordinance number on the ticket.
great.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I was hoping, that we'd make sure we solidify that policy, because sometimes if the signs go up, then it's hard to track when they went up or when they didn't go up. And so no, if we're doing that, and we're going to keep doing that, that's great.
Do we need ordinances to take those down?
No, in theory, you should repeal the ordinance. I'm thinking, Mr. Ratcher.
Probably, yes.
Yes,
Unless there was ones historically put up without
correct.
an independent ordinance.
We're still doing an audit of that.
That'll take some time.
Yes,
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hugus.
you're welcome.
Mr. Sedlak, we'll move over to your report, please.
Yeah, I have 3 items. We received an email from the project manager of Golden Triangle Construction, who's doing the work on Business 22 in Churchill and Wilkins Township for the past few months. Starting on August 12th, they will be working on the bridge, the Hall Station Bridge, which is the bridge between Home Depot and Sam's Club. They're going to be reducing the one lane. They're going to work on the eastbound side first. So the westbound side will be one lane in each direction. So it's going to be a mess. They're going to work on the westbound for 1.5 months and the eastbound for 1.5 months. So you're looking at the next 3 months, they're going to work on that bridge.
Could you tell me the dates again, please?
August 12th. So there's really no detours. It's just going to be one lane in both directions.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
The Monroeville Library Fun Fest is Saturday, August 26th, from 12 noon to 4 p.m. And the Jazz Festival is Saturday, September 2nd, from 1 to 8 p.m. in the Tall Trees Amphitheater in Monroeville Community Park West, and that is my report.
Thank you, Mr. Sedlak. Mr. Hugus?
No, sir.
Mrs. Rock?
Nothing.
Thank you. And move over to our council members. Mr. Hizzy?
Nothing.
All right, Mr. Stevenson?
Yes, Mayor, I just have one item. I don't know if the whole public knows or doesn't know that our manager is retiring at the end of the year. We are currently conducting a search for a new manager. One of the hindrances to our new manager position is the home rule charter and the requirement for residency. We will have a referendum in November to try to change that. Hopefully, the public will help us and remove that from the charter, and that will increase our availability to get a really good candidate to take over for Tim Little. I will talk about this from now and until the cows go home, because it's very important that we change the home rule charter. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. Mr. Adams?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Mr. Williams?
I do have a couple things. Number one, summer discount ticket sales at the Parks office. Idlewood Park for $40. Kennywood's $42 at the gate. I think it's like $60. So there's a nice discount if you're going to Kennywood to go see our Parks Department. And Sandcastle's $39. So anyhow, there's good savings there for those who want to go to these places. Next, Robert Serafini, I want to welcome you back. I thought we was going to have to close down the municipality because you missed so many meetings. You know, usually when you miss that many meetings, we just fire you. But glad to see you back and being healthy. The other thing is, if you're 50 years and plus, check out the Monroeville Senior Center. In Monroeville, Pitcairn residents receive a free membership. Non-residents is a $60 annual fee. There's a lot of things going on there. Tara Greasock does a great job running the facility. The parking lot is done. It's brand new. It's lined. It's really nice. The company did a nice job there. The other thing is, the Monroeville Lions Club Farmers Market is now at the Monroeville Mall by Dick's Sporting Goods, 9 a.m. to noon. Check it out on Saturday morning. It's just a nice thing. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Biondo?
Nothing today, Mayor, thank you.
Very good. And I think Mr. Williams said enough for all of us, and that was great. But no, so I'm going to make a motion. I want us to go into a brief executive session after this meeting for personnel and litigation reasons.
So we can adjourn the regular meeting, and then we can just give the report on the
Understood.
executive session next.
So is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you and good night. This meeting is adjourned.